Hey, what's up? Husman here, and today I'm gonna talk to you about genres and specifically how to create a track in a different genre than a genre that you usually make. Now, why would you even think about making a track in a different genre? Well, through my career there have been a few instances where I was like, I like certain stuff from a different genre which I would like to implement in my own genre, in my own genre of big room trance house. So that was one of the reasons why I always looking for different sounds from different genres and how to implement them in my own music. Now another reason why you would try to make music in different genres, if you have like client work, if you're a producer like me who also works for other people, like for companies, for other artists, it's great to know your way around in different genres. For instance, if you work with a singer and that singer likes to make music in, for instance, like trap music or pop music, I think this video will help you into learning how to approach different kind of genres. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Now always when trying to produce something or make something which you're not usually doing, it always in the beginning seems like a really daunting task. It doesn't only translate in this way to music. For instance, you're like a postman and you want to become a painter, then whenever you're gonna combine your work as a postman to work of painters, you only see the finished product. So it feels like a really daunting task to try to become a painter in this case. And the same way works with creating music. Now, personally, I'm more well versed into big room and trance productions and house productions. So if I was going to try to create some Bollywood music, the only reference that I would normally have in the beginning is finished Bollywood projects, and I would have some trouble into listening to the details and knowing about how to go about this. So through the years and throughout my work as NH Productions, I've been following a little checklist that I always use when clients want to do different music that I usually do. And I use this checklist basically to start with the basics and start with thinking about the simple stuff. So first we're gonna look into how we can create the simple stuff of each specific genre before going into the details and the nuances and the difficult, complex sound design parts of things and melodies and stuff. Because I feel like when you tackle first the easy stuff, the basic stuff, you already get the ball rolling, and for me at least it will be much easier to find my way into different genres. So for this tutorial, let's call it the Husman genre checklist. The first order of the checklist is the BPM, and this is something that you can easily find when looking towards genres. They usually generally have a specific kind of BPM. So for this tutorial, let's set a little example. I'm getting approached by a singer who wants to do trap music, have like a trap music production underneath it. Now, let's say I don't know a lot about trap music. I know a little, but for the purpose of this tutorial, I don't know a lot of trap music. So this is how I would go about it. I would Google it and I would see that trap music is usually between 150 and 160 BPM. So first check on the list, 150 BPM, put it in your DAW. Got that sorted, don't have to worry about that anymore for now. And now the second part of the checklist is, for me at least, because I come from a four to the floor background, is what's the kind of rhythm. Now when listening to trap music, I always feel it has a bit of that boom, boom, like that hip hop kind of rhythm. That would something I would put on the second checklist, hip hop rhythm. So what we now already know is that we have the BPM and we also have the rhythm of it. Now the third step on the checklist is that I always think about what are the most specific sounds for this genre. What are in general the sounds that are being used in this genre. And if I think about trap music or hip hop music, the first thing that comes to mind is an 808, of course. So 808 on the checklist. Now another thing that I always notice that counter to that 808 there's always a snare. So it's like boom, ch. I'm not gonna narrow down which kind of snare yet. I'm thinking about just a snappy snare, so 808 snare. And the last thing that I always think about are those quick hi-hats that I hear in a lot of trap music. So what we now already have established is that trap music, 150 BPM, hip hop rhythm, fill up that hip hop rhythm with an 808, a snare and a hi-hat. And now we already have a basis of what trap music is actually, and hip hop music is. A really basic idea, but now we already have a starting point. So now we can go a bit deeper into it. I really love using samples, but I always felt like whenever I was looking for some fundamental samples like snares, build-ups, impacts, I I always find it hard to find the right ones for my tracks. So that's why I decided to create my own fundamental pack. So whenever I have a great idea, it's much more easier for me to create a finished product because I have the fundamentals right. Now the next step on the list that I would always go about then is arranging. What's the kind of arrangement being used? Because if you're gonna get asked for a job, they always want to have it tailored to the certain genre when it comes to arrangement. Especially if you're gonna get working with a singer, they are looking for how it sounds on Spotify and they want to have the same kind of structure, roughly. So I would always A/B it with similar tracks in the genre of trap music, Chainsmokers songs or some of those Marshmallow songs, just to name a few, perhaps even a Fabian Mazur kind of song if you go for that darker vibe. To begin with the arrangement, I would just make a list, just writing down break, build up, drop, second break, bridge, build up, drop, similar how they have it, and then not think already about the melodies because that's the next step. Fourth step is the melodies and the personal taste is, for instance, like when you work with other people or when you looking for something in a different genre to add to your own genre, you always already have in the back of your head what kind of melodies that you really like and what kind of chord structures. So what I always like to do is then just look for MIDIs, look for ways on how to try to replay it on the piano to get a feel for which kind of chords they use. And then when we have the chords, you can also look into melodies because with trap music there's always some kind of melody, be it a vocal chop or just like a instrument loop or just like a main synth loop which carries the track into the drop and throughout the drop. So now with these 4 steps, I basically tackled the basics of when it comes to this specific genre. And then the 5th step will be the nuances, and that's something that will be something like a client will give you, for instance, like I would like to have this instrument in this track, or I would like to have those kind of effects, those kind of vocal lines, FX lines, and that will be the finishing touch, and then it's all about bringing everything together. Now this list works with everything, with hardstyle, with big room, with dubstep, with pop, Bollywood, and I'm sharing this with you guys is because I always, when starting a new task, be it music production or creating a website or making animations, making Photoshop things that I'm doing lately, it's always a really daunting thing when you're gonna A/B with finished products. So I really like to give you, at least for music production and the genres of music production, a little checklist where you can go about into making your life just a little bit more easier when you want to try to incorporate different kind of sounds in your music. So I really hope this video helps you in creating different kind of genres and taking just those little nuances which you might like and not know yet how to create and bringing them into your own music or just help you working more better with clients. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you like what I do, hit that like button. If you haven't already, subscribe. And then I'll see you guys on the next video. And that next video will be about my album. So stay tuned, that video will be up next week. So take care, bye bye.